Alright guys, what's going on? This is jbird, and today I'm making a video. It's been a long time since I've made any kind of video really. Today's is, I don't really know what to categorize it as. It's not exactly a farewell or a final video in any regard, but it is kind of tying up some loose ends here. It's getting a few things, not so much off my chest, not going to rant. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, and I'm not scripting any of it. I'm just kind of going off the cuff, which I don't usually do for a lot of videos, just because I don't like the idea of rambling. But I don't want to write all this down, because it'll probably be a while, and I don't really have any specific thoughts I wanted to write down anyway to go over. So I'll just go with it, and then I'll find some footage that hopefully can keep you guys somewhat interested while I babble on about whatever it is. First things first, I haven't played TF2 in a while. I go on here and there, but it's just, it's been a long time. 6 years of playing, and it's been awesome. It was fun. 100%. I'll just be full disclosure, I played the Overwatch beta. I thought that was really fun. And just right off the bat, if you're the kind of person who hasn't played the game or only put in a very minimal amount of time into something, and you instantly feel threatened by it, or you want to dislike something just because it's either A, different, or B, too similar to something you've already invested a lot of time in, and do feel threatened by something like that, I don't have time for your bullshit, so I don't give a fuck. If you hate Overwatch with everything inside of you for reasons you probably don't even understand, that's fine. You can either skip over the part of this video where I discuss that, or you can just, do whatever. You don't have to watch any of it. But yeah, I'm going to play Overwatch. I'm going to definitely give it a good shot. I bought it. I actually have not played it yet. It came out yesterday. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was new. It was refreshing. It has a ton of flaws. It has a ton of positives. It feels a lot like when I started playing TF2, and that's important. I'm not going to sit here and be the kind of guy who, when a game kind of reaches the end for him, he goes off on tangents about all the horrible things wrong. I see a lot of people streaming TF2 now, especially competitive players, who, when the beta for Overwatch ended and they had nothing else to do other than play TF2, every time the game came up, all they would do is talk about all the things that they hated about the game, how it had become completely stale, how the community had changed, how nothing was there was nothing driving them or motivating them anymore, and how they basically just hated the game. I see a lot of people talking like that. That's unfortunate, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have the same passion for the game that I used to. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have any desire really to improve at the game the way I used to. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I can even relate to a lot of the people who play the game anymore, because it's just so many different people, and a lot of the people I used to play with and really got to know don't play the game anymore. It's been so long. So I'm not going to pretend any of those things are anything but what they are. The game has changed for me. It's been this long, and it was going to happen, especially because it has been neglected in a lot of ways by Valve. And what are you going to do? That's not something they were putting their time or effort into to a great degree, and I'm not going to sit here and judge them for that. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that the game didn't give me 6 years of a lot of fun. Some fantastic moments. The best moments I've had ever playing video games, some of the better moments I've had with friends that I've met that I would have never known if it weren't for the game. It's been awesome. I got to make this channel and talk about stuff and have a bit of a creative outlet on the side, where I don't necessarily have something like that outside of video games, and it's been a crazy fun little experience. And I'm not going to tell anybody not to play this game. I would recommend TF2 every day, any day of the week, to anybody, new or old. Don't stop playing just because it's getting old. Don't stop playing just because some competitive player on Twitch says that Overwatch is the next best thing and TF2 is never going to be a big esport. It can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to play TF2 competitively, and you want to put your time and effort into that, fucking go for it. Like, no one's stopping you. And if you want to play it casually and don't care about that side, go for it. You should play video games. They're there to be an outlet, to be something you can do creatively, to whatever extent you want to. If you have other things you want to do, you want to play on the side, go for it. If you want to invest your time and try to make this some kind of career, it's going to be tough, but do it. You should always at least try. So that's what this game's been for me. And I'm not going to stop playing it completely. I'm not going to uninstall it. No one quits TF2. I'm doing air quotations right now when I say quit. because it's true. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to sit here and be an idiot and say I'm uninstalling the game, never playing again, giving away all my shit. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not playing as much, and I probably will never play as much as I used to. But it's a game I have put a lot of time into, met a lot of people, and I'm sure it will come up again that I will be playing TF2. I still have so much goddamn footage to go through that I will probably continue to post to this channel, depending on my motivation for it. I don't know if I'll post anything Overwatch related on this channel. I guess you can let me know in the comments. I'm not really going to listen to them in this regard, just because that'll be a decision I make based on how motivated I feel to post things like that, and also if I feel like I can make interesting content. I'm not going to post POVs of a game I'm not good at, or a game that I don't do cool things in. Like TF2, I started making videos because I felt like I had a bit of a niche. I played Sniper and I thought I was pretty good at it, and I also went for some interesting things here and there. So that's why I made videos in the first place. So I'm not going to make them for the sake of it. If I did that, you guys would get more than one video every 2 or 3 weeks. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that, and how I feel about where this channel's heading. But yeah, TF2 will be a part of it, always. The main part. The only part, really. I've never posted anything other than TF2. So moving on from that, Overwatch and all those things, I guess I'm just making this video as kind of a catch-up. Another reason, I guess, that I'm not going to delve too deeply into about why I've not made as many videos of late, or why I'm not playing as much of late, there's a lot of things, but mostly, after the last video I made, there was the VAC ban wave and everything, and all those people got banned. I made a video on it. It was short. I tried to make it as concise. I wanted to make that video short and concise to avoid the fucking bullshit, the storm of idiots, and just absolutely mind-numbingly stupid, ignorant people that I ended up getting anyway. So I'm stupid for thinking they wouldn't come anyway, but they came. And that video just kind of got me thinking. There were some of the responses I got, and you know what? To be perfectly fair, I got some completely reasonable arguments from reasonable human beings who had completely differing opinions than my own. And I can 100% appreciate those any time of the day. And I responded to those, and I tried to make my point clear. If it didn't get across, that's totally fine. But there were some people who just blew my mind in ways I didn't think I could have it blown. And it was magical and horrible at the same time, and I was terrified and mystified in the exact same moment at some of the things I could read. Some of the words people could spew just over a video game. And I get it. Like, I'm the first person to tell you that if this game means more to you than just a game, then that's fine. But my God, there are human beings involved in this. And the people who just simply don't understand this, I don't understand the wall that internet anonymity creates for people. Because sitting at home, when you type racial slurs or just horrible things, when you say that someone who cheats in a video game is worse than a pedophile or Hitler, as hilarious as that might be, they're saying it dead seriously. I had not a conversation, but I had to read the words of a human being who said that anybody who cheats in a video game should go straight to hell. And I kind of took that as joking. You know, I responded and I said, that's a little ridiculous, but I understand the point you're trying to make. You don't like cheaters. And they responded, and apparently they were dead serious. They thought that the gates of hell, fucking fire and brimstone, were awaiting anybody who cheated, and that it was on par with murder or child molestation. This is something they believe, and I think they actually believe it. That's scary, man. And I understand that that pervades all video games and all politics and just every walk of life. You will experience people like that. But I feel like this community has become horribly stagnant, horribly ignorant, and just completely afraid. It is a community full of people afraid, scared that their game is dying, that it's not getting the support it deserves, scared that a certain group of people who play the game one way or another are taking over in some regard. You have people on the spectrum of competitiveness who think that Pub TF2 is killing the game, even though that's how it started. You have people in the public community thinking that they are putting too much emphasis into competitive, even though every game deserves to have an aspect of competitive nature to it. There's no balance in this community. It is completely in flux, and it's horrible. I hate to see it die like this, and I also hate to use those words, that this game is dying, but this game is dying. I love it. I love this community, but holy shit, is it tearing itself apart from the fucking inside out. Okay, Valve is not the problem here. It would be wonderful if they released optimizations for this game to get better FPS. It would be wonderful if they'd given us matchmaking 4 years ago. It'd be wonderful if matchmaking wasn't still in fucking beta. It'd be wonderful if there weren't fucking 10 people playing matchmaking in North America at certain points. It'd be great if this game had the support it deserved. But the truth is, it was given enough to sustain itself. And people didn't seem that interested in it. It's a community full of just slow people. Mentally, physically, everything. I don't understand the motivations of some of the people who play this game to this date. And it's confusing to me. And it's not something I really want to be a part of anymore. I've always tried to be as open as possible. When I started making YouTube videos, I've watched other people. There's such a wide array of YouTube personalities, even in a community like TF2. That's not the largest gaming community out there, but it definitely opens up a lot of different avenues that you can take a YouTube channel. You have people like, I guess if you want to get into big names who've existed over the time in TF2, there were Star, there were Germa, there was, I guess, and then came Muselk, things like that. It really seemed to cater towards the live commentary, goofy sort of gameplay. And I'm totally fine with that. Not my cup of tea, not something I want to watch, even though I will say, Germa, who I initially had a large amount of disdain for, just out of the pure ignorance of being part of a community that seems to hate anything that isn't exactly what they would think is ideal. I didn't think he was very funny. I watch his videos now. He is a wonderfully genuine, hilarious person. So I encourage people to watch his videos, especially because they're not TF2 related anymore. And I think it really allowed him to be creative. That's important. A lot of people in TF2 community, especially when they make videos, are so ingrained in the game, so deeply invested, that shit like Overwatch, that honestly has nothing to do with Team Fortress 2. Yes, there is a payload. And yes, it's a class-based game, and there's a class that's kind of like Heavy, and there's a class that's kind of like Scout, and there's a Sniper, which there is in every fucking game that's ever existed. But holy shit, could it not be farther away from TF2 in so many different ways? But still, the fear, the level of just malice towards something new and different, because it threatens a platform that they have used, is just unbelievable. Unrelenting, and it's what's going to kill this community. It's what's going to kill this game. It was slow up until this point, but I think it's about to hit a point where it really speeds up, where the writing will be on the wall for a lot of people playing this game, and that writing will just simply say, look, if you want to enjoy this for what it is, as an online free-to-play shooter, please do so. There will always be communities where you can play competitively or publicly, and you can probably get as much out of the game as you want to still, but there is not a whole lot of room for growth. It is not ever going to be a major esport. Whether you like that or not, whether you believe that or not, I'm sorry to tell you, it just will not be. No one is willing to invest in a game so torn, so completely out of sync with its own community. That's not a safe investment for anybody, ever. And it's just not something Valve is going to bother backing at this point, because why? If they really cared, do you think matchmaking would be done by now? Do you think they would have given us the opportunity to actually not fuck our graphics over by be forcing the DX9 when you play it? Do you think that all these weapons would still be available in the capacity they are, that it wouldn't be so broken? I don't think it would be. I think they'd have done a lot of things a lot differently. But they understand. They understand as well as a lot of people do that this game is done growing. It has hit a point where either plateauing or simply declining for the rest of its life until it eventually shuts down. This game is done. It is done in a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be done for the individual, but it is done as a whole, as a growing product. And that is sad. That's unfortunate. I love this game. But everything comes to an end. I got news today. I read news that one of my favorite artists of all time, Gord Downey, who's the lead singer for the Tragically Hip, has terminal brain cancer. And he's still going to go on tour this summer around Canada. And him and the Tragically Hip are still going to perform. And honestly, when I read that, that shit fucking tore me up. I grew up listening to the Tragically Hip. For anyone who's familiar with my sniper rifle or my page, I have my sniper rifle named A Long Time Running, and it's based off of one of my favorite songs by that same band. That hurt me. That really that sucked. And, things like that put a couple things into perspective for you. Something that's always been a part of your life, that's always been meaningful to you. It can be there one day and then, might not be there the next. But at the same time, it's inspiring that he's still going to go and do this tour at the end of his career, and I hope to God I'm able to see him once before he's not here anymore, because he has meant a lot to me in my life. And you know, it's a lot like TF2 in a lot of ways, and I understand the fear some people have that something they love, something they've invested hundreds, maybe thousands of hours into, is not the same and is not going to get the same support it did at one point, or maybe looked like it could at some point. But that doesn't mean it can't go out the way you want it to. It doesn't mean you can't play it out until the very end. It doesn't mean you should stop loving it. I don't know. I'm very torn and confused by this whole situation, because I love the game and I know I'm not going to stop playing it forever, but I don't like what it's become, and I see where it's going. I have difficulty not removing myself from that situation because I'm just very tired of it. It used to be fun to make videos, and now it's just fucking stressful because I deal with a lot of things that maybe not everybody deals with when it comes to social anxiety, and just reading certain comments just of people who have zero ability to learn or grow as individuals, who have no empathy for other people. It just makes me sad inside. Like, it's just a depressing thing, and I understand that's not an issue isolated to Team Fortress 2, but it's an issue that is directly connected to TF2 for me, and I just don't think I need that in my life right now. So again, this is not some final goodbye, not some final video, probably, but it is the end of something, and in a lot of ways I saw this coming for a while, put it off. My channel started becoming kind of one where I just spill a lot of thoughts into it instead of playing the game, because the game just wasn't giving me that same thing anymore, and I was hoping to at least give back in some way, and I would love to still do that in some capacity. I don't know how, but I will try. Anyway, I'm sorry to anyone who watches this channel strictly for TF2 content. If you loved the way I play the game or some of the things that I did, I'm sorry that I probably won't be doing that nearly as frequently. It definitely won't be new stuff because I just won't be playing the game as much. And I apologize to anybody who enjoyed the content because of the things I had to say, because I probably won't have as many things to say about TF2 or anything in general if I make less videos. But I want to thank everybody for putting the time in with me. Everybody who's been there either from the very start or very recently, amidst all of the shit, all of the just unfortunate individuals that a person comes across when they do something like this. 10 times more fantastic, wonderful people have reached out, spoken to me, asked me questions, been lovely in general. And I thank every single one of you for being that. And even if you were a piece of shit, I thank you for giving me perspective, because without those people, I don't understand how great some other people are. So thank you for being who you are. I don't want you to fake it. I don't want anybody come on my channel and say, great fucking video, man, like I loved it, if they thought it was the worst thing they'd ever seen in their life. That's not good for anybody. So you know what? I guess at the very end of the day, as much as I hate some of the rhetoric that comes about from people who are simply ignorant and afraid of change and hide behind the anonymity of the internet, I'm not going to tell you not to be yourself, because I just, it's not who I am, and it's not what I want people to be. So whoever you are, whoever watches this video, whether you are going to keep playing TF2, whether that's something you might be moving on from as well, whether your opinion differs completely from mine on whether or not this game is dying or not, because my word is not law, and everything I've said here could be completely wrong. I want you to know I appreciate any of the input you have and any of the time you've put into this channel with me. So maybe this is the last time I say take it easy, guys, but it's probably not. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for the ride, guys, and take it easy.